So a quick quiz to start with. Okay, so what are the three most important things to life? What are the three things that without them we would die? This is an interaction section. Water, that's one. Yeah, there's three. There's two more. Right, air, oxygen, and the other one? Food. Right. Good. So you're also awake. That's good. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, so air, oxygen, water, and food. Fantastic. Now, which of those things, generally speaking, do we think are the most? Do we spend more time thinking about and planning for?
Food.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. So, which is the second most important out of those three?
Yes.
Generally, do people think about? And people are thinking of bottles of water as I speak. Okay. So water, right? So if we're lucky, we think about water. We think about drinking water. We think about being hydrated. How often do we think about breathing? Not very often. However, let me offer you something to you. How long do you think your body can survive without food?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. How long did David Blake get locked himself in a box? 40 days, something like that? So maybe, at an extreme, maybe something like that, we could survive without food. If we had oxygen and water. How long could the body live without water?
3 days.
And how long do you think you could live without air?
minutes.
5 minutes maybe? At the most 10 if you've been training for it. Okay? So it's ironic, isn't it? Because we've got the priorities in completely the wrong order. That we could live without food, but we think about it the most. But we couldn't live without oxygen, and yet, without it, we'd be going purple in about 5 minutes. Now, that's just really to illustrate that breathing is incredibly important. And the way that you breathe actually determines a great deal of the health that is either present or not present in your body. Okay? When you're breathing correctly, okay, I'll try to correct myself. When you're breathing in a way that your body wants to breathe for you, then the systems of the body function well. Okay? But very often, and in fact in almost every case, people's breathing patterns have become so habitual and unconscious that they actually support the patterns in the body that are causing you problems. Whether they're emotional patterns, whether they're physical patterns, or whether they're mental patterns. And I mean those in terms of the beliefs that we have about the world. So that sense of I am this, I am a mother, I am a chartered surveyor, I am a yoga teacher, whatever it is, all of these labels and beliefs that we've come to in order to understand the world, all of those things are deeply connected with the patterns of the breath. Okay? When you can access the breath correctly and you can breathe deeply, the body can actually begin to heal and can actually begin to realign itself. Without it, the body struggles. Okay? And in fact, you'll be fighting a losing battle if you come to yoga and breathe in the way that you've been breathing in your everyday life if you're not breathing in a way that your body wants. Okay? Now, many of us come to what's called counterintuitive breathing. Okay? Now, what I mean by this, so we're going to start with breathing this morning because it's the most important thing. Okay? So, counterintuitive breathing. Okay? So if you ever watch a baby breathe. Okay? Who women have got children here? Yeah, handful, not all of you. Okay, so even if you haven't got kids, you may have seen a baby breathe. If you see them breathe, where do they breathe from? They breathe from here. Yeah? You see them lying on their backs, you see it's going up and down. Right? Now, ideally, this is where we breathe from as well. Now, notice that I'm here rather than here. Okay? So, very often, the belly is thought to be down here, near the belly button. But in fact, the belly, the stomach, is here, above the diaphragm. So if you see a baby breathe, you'll see the belly from here. Okay? Now, very often what's happened with us is that we don't breathe down here into this area anymore. Instead, what's happened is that we actually, so when we breathe, instead of this bit going out, that actually goes in. So actually, if you ask somebody to take a deep breath, often this happens. And that bit goes in, and the chest lifts up. Okay. Now, I'm not going to ask you to confess as to whether you're a chest breather, which is what that is, or not, because that's not important, whether or not I know. But if you're breathing into the chest rather than into here, then you're in what's called counterintuitive breathing pattern. And what that means is it's putting the body under stress when it breathes, which is the last thing that you want, because the breath is supposed to bring life back to you, not take it away from you. So, in the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, really the whole sequence is about getting you to explore the breath. Because as you explore the breath, the mind itself, which is connected to the breath, begins to become still. Okay? So that you'll notice that when your mind is agitated, your breath will also be agitated. When your breath is extended and deep and relaxed, so too will the mind be. And this is something that the ancient yogis knew, which was that the mind and the breath were connected. So, if you want to help the mind, you work on controlling the breath. Now, the irony is that we do move around. So we jump around, we make shapes. But the only reason that we're doing it, in the most part, is to get you to breathe. Okay?